We are delighted to welcome Mr. Harley Lippman, foreign policy expert. Thank you very much, Mr. Lippman, for joining us tonight. Well, let's begin with part one, all right, the pact itself. If there's a pact with Qatar and a pact with Saudi Arabia, is it like a new Fight Club version, so to speak, of the mutually assured destruction principle, which essentially cancels any possibility of hostility in the Gulf because the U.S. cannot attack itself, can it?
Correct. I mean, this is something that they've wanted for a long time. This was discussed when President Trump visited the region earlier, and this is the effort to conclude this. Certainly, the attack on the Hamas negotiators in Qatar added urgency to this because this greatly alarmed the Gulf nations because they saw it that they were vulnerable and they could be attacked. And so, from their perspective, they don't know if Israel is, from their point of view, out of control or regardless, they want protection from the United States, and Saudi Arabia will get it. Plus, Saudi Arabia is going to get nuclear power with the right safeguards to make sure they don't have nuclear weapons, with Americans that are going to be doing the work and manning the nuclear facilities within Saudi Arabia. So it's all encompassing. But the main purpose of the trip actually is commercial. Saudi Arabia is going to spend between the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia probably close to $1 trillion of investment in the United States. Right.
No, but you know, in security, and obviously in economy, in life generally, name of the game, or in our time and age, scarcity is the name of the game. And I do want to insist for another minute on the defense pact, because if Washington, you know, similarly but different, when Birkin bags were nowhere to be found, it was desired. Now every other teenager is carrying them. So the glory of it, the impact of it is decreasing. Similarly to security pacts with the United States of America. If everyone has it, it means less.
Well, they don't see it that way. They see it as a guarantor that neither Iran nor Israel will attack them, or Yemen, the Houthis, any of their enemies. Right now, they are more afraid of Israel than Iran on certain respects. They used to be more afraid of Iran, and that tied Iran and Saudi Arabia into a sort of an alignment. But things have changed since the war in Gaza.
Yeah.
And what the Saudis want, you know, you mentioned normalization. This is not the topic. This is not expected to come out of this meeting. You never know, of course. But what gets in the way of normalization is the Saudis want an irreversible line to a two-state solution. That's what they want. They know it'll take a very long time. There's 55 million tons of rubble in Gaza, and it could take 5 years or 10 years. So they're not putting a time limit on it, but they want to know that there's an irreversible commitment to a two-state solution. And that will create normalization, not this deal for a defense treaty with the United States and not this commercial involvement. This is really about the United States and Saudi Arabia.
So as you see, Mr. Lippman, just to make sure that I understand correctly, it is not conditional. The security pact is not conditional by, with the Saudi nod to move ahead with normalization.
That's correct.
Because I suspect that these are the Israeli hopes, at least.
Right. This is what Israel would like to see, that it's conditional. But from America's point of view, that's not a top priority, and it's not a priority for Saudi Arabia. And especially while Hamas is in Gaza, I got information from Saudi Arabia that they will not send any peacekeepers, any investment into Gaza as long as Hamas is there. They don't want to be involved or connected to Hamas in any way. So that speaks to that point. But again, while Israel would hope that this would bring about Saudi Arabia coming into the Abraham Accords, that may happen down the road. but it's unlikely to happen now. This is really about a economic deal on so many areas, especially relating to AI.
Huh.
Saudi Arabia is looking to be a powerhouse to rival China and India. That's what this is really all about. Israel and Iran are a sideshow to this meeting in Washington in November.
So it's really not the jewel of the crown prince at the moment, the issue of normalization, just one of many other topics to be discussed. Mr. Lippman, please do stay with us.